All right, let's just get right into it. If you imagine the world of Taiwanese street food as, say, the Olympics, then Kong Rou Fan, well, it's the heavyweight champion. This isn't just a dish, it's a bold, almost domineering statement in a bowl. It's the contender that walks onto the stage with its own glorious, jiggly spotlight.
And look, I'm not being dramatic. That's really the only way to describe it. It's a piece of pork belly so perfectly braised, it practically trembles when you look at it. Today, we're going to go way beyond just the taste and really dig into the history, the culture, and all the secrets behind this absolute masterpiece.
Because here's where things start to get interesting. Just trying to order this dish can lead to a kind of delicious identity crisis. You see, what you think you're asking for might not be what you get at all, which brings us to our first big mystery.
That's right. In Taiwan, just ordering braised pork rice can accidentally land you right in the middle of a long-standing culinary conflict. It's kind of like a delicious civil war that's fought with ladles and chopsticks, and it's all about North versus South.
Okay, so here's the deal, and this is crucial. If you're up in Taipei, in the north, and you ask for lu rou fan, you're going to get a bowl of minced pork over rice. But if you go down south and ask for the exact same thing, lu rou fan, you're likely to get that glorious whole piece of pork belly. Up north, that big piece is called Kong Rou Fan, while down south they call the minced version Rou Zao Fan. Is it confusing? Oh, absolutely. Is it always delicious? You bet.
But what if the name doesn't really matter as much as the method? The real spirit, the true soul of this dish, it all comes down to this one word, Kong. It's a Taiwanese term, and it basically means to simmer, to braise, to patiently cook something over a low fire until it hits this state of perfect, succulent tenderness. That right there is the true identity we're talking about.
You probably think of this as humble street food, right? But its roots are actually surprisingly aristocratic. I mean, this icon of the pavement didn't start there at all. Its ancestor was a dish truly fit for a royal banquet.
So how did we get from a massive royal feast to a simple street stall? Well, the story starts over in Fujian with something called tongan feng rou. Just picture this, a huge basin-sized piece of pork stuffed into an urn with things like mushrooms, dried shrimp, and chestnuts, then sealed up and slow-cooked for banquets. When that tradition crossed the strait to Taiwan, it had to adapt for the everyday person. It shed all those fancy extras and was slimmed down to a perfect palm-sized portion that focused purely on the sublime flavor of the pork and the sauce. And, you know, nowhere is this dish more revered than in the city of Changhua. Seriously, the passion there is on a whole other level. You've got people eating it for breakfast at 5 a.m., they're lining up for it at lunch, and they're still gathering around stalls for a midnight fix. The entire city basically runs on a 24/7 relay race of pork belly. So what was Changhua's genius innovation? It's right here, a single bamboo skewer. This simple little tool is an absolute stroke of brilliance. It pierces through all the layers, the skin, the fat, and the lean meat, and it stops them from separating or divorcing, as they say, during that long, slow braise. And the result? It's a perfectly held together piece of pork that looks like this beautiful edible necklace.
Okay, so we've covered the history, we've covered the confusing names. Now let's actually break down what makes a perfect bowl. It's really like a symphony with 4 essential parts working together in perfect, delicious harmony.
It all starts with the pork, which is obviously the star of the whole show. But just as important is the sauce. That's the soul of the entire dish. And all of this goodness rests on a bed of the rice, the foundation. And finally, you have the sidekicks, the supporting cast that just elevates the entire experience.
Let's talk a little more about that soul, the sauce. We're talking liquid gold here. The real test of a truly great braising liquid is this lip-sticking quality. After you eat, if your lips feel just a little bit sticky, that's the sign of pure natural collagen that's rendered out from the pork skin. It's amazing. Some of the legendary shops have a master stock, which is basically a living sauce they've been adding to and building upon for decades.
And you absolutely cannot forget the supporting cast. The pickled greens, they're like the flavor reset button, cutting right through all that richness. The braised egg and tofu, they're the sauce thieves, just soaking up all that incredible flavor. And that bright yellow pickled radish, for so many people, that's the nostalgic full stop. It's that classic old school touch that just completes the whole picture.
So how in the world do you achieve this level of perfection? Well, it's not just cooking. It's more like a performance. You got to think of it as a dramatic 5-act play, where a simple piece of pork gets transformed into something, well, something divine.
Act 1 is sear. You pan-fry the pork to render out some fat and set its shape. Act 2,
caramelize. You coat the pork in melted rock sugar, and this is not for sweetness, it's to create that gorgeous, deep mahogany color. Act 3, aromatize. You fry shallots and garlic in that rendered pork fat, and it just creates this intoxicating aroma. Act 4, simmer. This is the long, patient wait. We're talking at least 90 minutes on a low flame until that skin is impossibly tender. And the final, almost torturous Act 5, rest. You turn off the heat and just let the pork sit there soaking up every last drop of flavor like a sponge.
So as we've seen, this dish is a total masterpiece of technique. But to really, truly understand Kong Rou Fan, you have to get its place in the heart of Taiwanese culture. It is so much more than just a meal. See, in the past, for a generation that really knew hard, physical labor, a bowl of rich, fatty pork was a reward. It was a symbol that you had worked hard and you earned this moment of abundance. Today, its role has kind of shifted. For us, it's more like a cure for the modern soul. It's the most sincere, effective comfort food you can have after a long, stressful day at the office.
And you know, that's the beauty of it. Kong Rou Fan isn't trying to be elegant or refined. It can be a little crude, maybe a little messy, a little greasy, but what it offers is 100% sincere. It's honest, it's hearty, and it is deeply, deeply satisfying.
Ultimately, every single bowl of Kong Rou Fan extends this simple, powerful invitation. It kind of looks at you after a long day and it just says, "You've worked hard, come on, have a good piece of meat." And in that moment, there is absolutely nothing more comforting in the entire world.